And I just believe in common sense. I mean, I'm not trying to. All I try to do is dig into the reality of where we are now. And I look around and I see kids that, when I was 12 years old, I went and played out in the woods. I played Pink Floyd's The Wall on my stereo as loud as I could until I had to stop. I learned how to play the guitar. I read comic books. I made friends. I eventually made girlfriends. Those were the things that you're interested in at 12 years old. Well, these kids today are being so damaged by all of this stuff from the right and the left that it's time for people like me and like you to give the people the knowledge on, say, the environment and what's going on, and we can talk about this rationally, because it's gotten so out of control that 12-year-olds there are 12-year-olds out there that are afraid, they feel guilty for their race, or if they're on the other side of the coin, they're angry at people for their race at 12 years old. And, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and it wasn't until I got to Kentucky that I started to see bad behavior from stupid people. And racism is a disease. But I would say that all of this social justice stuff, all the systematic racism talk.
It's neoliberalism.
It's Marxism. And it needs to stop because we were doing just fine. We were doing just fine without you.
So I agree with you about 70%. There are, and one of the things that these protests have done, even though the way in which they're protesting, I really don't feel like it's about racial equality at all. But one of the things it has done and it has shown is that there are a lot of pissed off and disenfranchised people in the United States, and they're disenfranchised about living in the United States. And both me and you agree that our economic system and our system of government here in the U.S. is fucking awesome. It is the best system in the world. But if a large segment of the population living here do not feel that way, we got to do whatever it is in our power to help make them feel that way. And I'll put it to you this way, right? The people that were at the BLM protest the first weekend, the people that were burning American flags, right? I saw a bunch of that stuff when I was down there, right? You wouldn't be burning an American flag if you had a stock market portfolio in 2016.
That's a huge point. You
would not be doing. You'd probably be waving a Trump flag if you want my honest opinion.
There's no systematic racism in the stock market.
Well,
they don't check.
But
there's no systematic racism in learning a trade.
Well, John, but here's the issue though. Here's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And the elephant is that if you look at the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve data, black people on average only acquire 17% of generational wealth that white people have. And stock market participation, when you factor in the equality of income in the same profession, is only 50% that of white people amongst black Americans. So what I think we need to start doing is we need to start teaching comprehensive financial education in poor, underfunded, specifically communities of color, to actually bridge that gap. And I think that'll do a multitude of things. So the first thing it'll do is it'll teach people to actually get an understanding of how the financial system works. And then once you understand how the financial system works, you will understand what governments are doing to you, and you'll be more likely to be involved. Another thing that it will do is it will allow people, it will provide people with opportunities and allow them to see opportunities to acquire wealth and participate in our American economy in a much better way. And it'll reduce a lot of the disenfranchisement that people have.
Absolutely.
And the third thing that it'll do
is it'll boost
provide,
the economy.
Well, no shit, of course.
Yeah.
But the third thing that it's also going to do is it's going to provide people with resources that they otherwise might not feel as though they have when it comes to job placement, when it comes to helping them study in school, when it comes to keeping people out of trouble, a whole bunch of things. It's like police athletic leagues bridge the gap and provide people in underfunded areas with a community resources to help them stay out of trouble in a productive type of way. So we have to really start investing in financial education in those communities if we really want to bridge that gap. That's the only way.
No, that's exactly what I think.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page with that. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
That's
what I really
exactly
think
what I think.